Hi, I'm Mike, owner of the In-Group in Phoenix, Arizona. Today I'm doing the new arrival video for May 21st, 2021. Got one pre-order to tell you about this week. It is Madeline Peru, Careless Love. It comes out August 27th. It is a 3-disc set. The extra disc is going to be a bonus concert from 2005. So it'd be kind of cool to get that back in print. Very popular. MoFi did it a while back. It was pretty successful for its time. But yeah. SACD to show you. You know, I carry a full run of SACDs when I can get them. You know, everything nowadays, audiophile, MoFi, analog production, speakers corner. It doesn't matter what it is. It's next to impossible to get. But while I have it, I do have Jeff Beck's Truth. They're limited to 2,500. As far as vinyl goes, we're not going to be seeing outside of One Steps this limited nature anymore. This is actually going to be the last. Now, in the vinyl version, I'm not sure about SACDs, but in vinyl, this is going to be the last title that is released as a limited number edition. You know, it's going to be more of the old school way of doing it. X amount of years of release, and then it'll be done. But yeah, you notice we've got all these titles that are being, you know, they're sold out before they come out. The Bob Dylan, you know, the minute they come out, they're sold out. The Nilsson Schmilsson, sold out. It's been out a couple of days. It's sold out. So those are going away. But the Jeff Beck Truth, there is only 2,500 of them. So if you're an SACD guy, get one. Or gal. Restock from ORG. Free Jazz by Ornette Coleman. This is a title that has been out of print for some time. These are all analog, cut by Bernie Grumman, 45 RPM, pressed at Palace in Germany. These are all really, really good titles. They did maybe about 10 of them. But I got a couple of restocks in recently, and I'll start by showing you these. So Ornette Coleman's Free Jazz. Coltrane Sound, another really, really desirable title. The Coltrane Atlantic stuff is very underrated as far as Coltrane goes. This came in a couple of weeks ago, but I'll show it to you again, kind of going through some of these that I have. Coltrane Jazz, one of the most popular titles that they did in this series. This just came in not too long ago, My Favorite Things. And The Shape of Jazz to Come by Ornette Coleman. These are all analog. They're all cut by Bernie Grumman, all from the original analog tape. They've been out for some time, intermittently hard to get. You know, they've been out for a year or two. They're back in, they're out. But I don't imagine these are going to stay in print much longer. They're getting a little long in the tooth as far as an audiophile release goes. They've been out for a while. But yeah, real cool. Gives you kind of a little bit of a detail on all these. Transfer from the mastered tapes to master lacquers, made by Ampex. You know, the lathes go through all the information, but yeah, pretty cool. This is a release that's been kind of a little bit of a mess. My Bloody Valentine, MBV. So when this came out, there was two versions. I wasn't quite sure which is which. There was an indie store exclusive, and then there was a standard version. The word on the street at the time was one's analog and the other one is not. And I thought to myself when I heard that, I'm like, well, that's foolish. So, like, I understand, okay, you're going to cut an all-analog version, and then you're going to spend extra money to have a digital version cut? For what reason? You're going to pay to do it right, and then you're going to pay more money to do it wrong? That made no sense to me. But, of course, we finally got the full information. And I've got both versions here. I've got the Indie Store exclusive, and then I've got just the standard version. And what do you know? They're both full analog cut, which makes much more sense. They do actually include download codes, and what's kind of cool about that is there's a 24-bit high-res download file or MP3 you can get on these. The big difference is one is a tip-on, and I'm assuming that is the Indie Store exclusive. This is the big difference just by looking at it. This is the more modern way of making a record, just that generic cardboard, you know, where you print the cover directly onto a white piece of cardboard. This is more of the audiophile, stout and tip-on jacket kind of design. You know, your Tone Poets, your Universal series, you know, like the Getz, the John Coltrane Love Supreme ballads, to where it is actually a tip-on. It's a cardboard jacket with the cover pasted on it. But yeah, and they're both the same price. I would get the tip-on jacket if it is still available, because that is the way to go. But really in demand, originals went for a good chunk of money, but it's nice that they actually got that back in print. I got these Hours after I filmed last week's video, you guys who've pre-ordered it, you've probably all noticed your tracking information has been sent, and a lot of you probably have this already. But the next 2 titles from the Universal Impulse series, this year actually celebrating the 60th anniversary of Impulse. Out of the Cool by the Gil Evans Orchestra and Ray Charles. Genius plus Soul equals Jazz. Both fantastic must-own albums, but Out of the Cool, this is an amazingly fun listen. Nothing deep. It's, you know, very accessible. It's a very fun album to listen to. Of course, so is Ray Charles. But both definitely worth owning. All right, back in stock from Analog Productions is Get Schiavarto, the 45 RPM version, on my top 10 in-print jazz records you should own, analog jazz records you should own. Phenomenal record. They do it at 33 RPM as well, which I also have in stock. Sounds really, really good. It's part of the Universal series, same as the Ray Charles and the Gil Evans, but the 45 is better. It is a much better sounding record. Rodrigo Gabriela. Actually, I was at a Mexican restaurant a couple of weeks ago, and this was actually on the Hi-Fi. I'm like, oh, yeah, it's interesting. But yeah, new EP release, Jazz EP is the title of it. This is a numbered limited edition on colored vinyl, limited to 3,000. What I was listening to was quite good. Great guitar, really nice. But yeah. Ryan Adams, Wednesday. First album in 3 years includes a bonus 7-inch with bonus tracks on Pax Am. So new Ryan Adams. Arcade Fire and Owen Pallett. Her, original score by Arcade Fire. So yeah, this looks like a soundtrack. What is this? There's like a hype sticker there with the California seal. California Film Alliance. Nation of California Film Alliance. I don't know, maybe that has to do with the movie. I have not seen it. I have no clue. Not familiar with the soundtrack. The Besnard Lakes. A band that is nothing short of beautiful, is the quote there. Counting Crows. Includes the song August and Everything After for the first time on vinyl. Butter Miracle Sweet One, bonus track. Interesting. Release from BMG. Mickey Dolenz sings Mike Nesmith. They just reissued, which this is going to be quite popular. It looks like most of the Erasure catalog is back in print on vinyl. So what is that? Chorus, The Circus. Let me see. A few more in here. I'll just grab those. This is the self-titled. Looks like a double. Wonderland. Remember when this was like a $250 record store day release the following week? Well, it is back in print, and yeah, this is the Rocktober version. So the Rocktober thing was just so strange. I ordered tons of everything in Rocktober for Rocktober, you know, in September for the Rocktober releases because they're always wildly popular. But last year, if you guys were watching the videos, you remember things were coming in intermittently. You know, they would send me 2 one week, 40 the next week, 3 the next week, and, you know, 7 months later, here's the last. I'm assuming or hoping, you know, not that I mind getting this in stock because this is a really hot album. It always, since that record store day release, people have always been after this. But yeah, like it's tough to expect anymore nowadays what's actually coming. You know, I'll order something like this. It's September of last year. get some, totally forget about it, and then I look on my order of what's shipped this week, and of course, there it is again. I got a restock on this. Some of these individual titles were out of stock. I don't remember which ones, but these are absolutely unbelievably fantastic. With all the hype surrounding some of the craft one-steps, you guys need to look into this. They're $24.99 a piece. They're all analog. They're stout and tip-on jackets. They're all cut from the original analog master tape by Kevin Gray. And not only are they great jazz records, they're records that were originally released on Riverside that are impossible to get clean vinyl versions of. I mean, you will spend gobs and gobs of money, send many records back on Discogs and eBay because people who advertise them have near mint. Apparently have never listened to a record before because they don't know what they're talking about. And it will be I mean, I've tried getting clean copies of these records. I can't tell you. You can hear a little bit of my frustration coming through because I've tried for years trying to get clean versions of these albums. And short of, well, it's actually the best one. I did get a beautiful first pressing of this about 7 or 8 months ago, but these are all unbelievable analog records. And it could happen to you. Chet Baker sings. These are all unbelievable analog records, and they're cheap. For an audiophile record, it's about as cheap as you're going to get. Girl School, Hit and Run. So those Chet Bakers are some of them are restocks. This is a new arrival. Super Drag. This is the indie exclusive clear and red orange swirl vinyl. And this is Precious Memories Collection, Alan Jackson on clear vinyl. This would be a 2-disc set. And yeah, oh, what do we got here? Indie exclusive, King Gizzard and the Wizard Lizard. This is pink and yellow colored vinyl by Org Music, who does a great job. You know, they do a lot of audiophile releases, but then they do stuff like this. They're doing the Bad Brains catalog. So yeah, there you go. All right, guys. Tons of great stuff on the way, man. I'm just waiting on customs. I know a lot of you guys have ordered that Ornette Coleman Speaker's Corner release. I should have it, I'm hoping, this coming up week. But we're dealing with airlines. We're dealing with the United States Customs. We're dealing with trucking companies here in the States, trucking companies in Germany. I know a lot of you guys have been emailing me on it, but trust me, I would like everything yesterday myself. If I had the opportunity to get it, I would have it yesterday. I would have a lot of things yesterday, but we're reliant on all of those things, and that is going to slow stuff down quite some time. But on that truck, if you don't have it already filled out on the website, go to the website. I've got a restock coming of the Speaker's Corner Lou Reed, one of the absolute best records you're going to ever hear. The bass on that is just unbelievably good. For a 33, I don't think I've ever heard a 33 that has that much. You know, typically you can get heavy-duty bass like that on a 45 RPM, but on a 33, I mean, unbelievable record. Go to the website, click the restock notification box. I will have that in, and I always sell out of them immediately. They're unbelievably good. So, yeah, check us out on Instagram, Facebook, and until next time,